All right, scene 5. We're in the Great Hall in Capulet's mansion, and serving men come forth with napkins, and this like tiny little start to the scene just reminds us, hey, there's a party going on. All right. The first serving man says, "Where's Pop Pen? What he helps not to take away, he shift a trencher, he scrape a trencher." The second one says, "When good manners shall lie all in one or two men's hands, and they unwashed, 'tis a foul thing." Then the first servant says, "Away with the join stools, remove the court cupboard, look to the plate. Good thou save me a piece of marchpan, and as thou lovest me, let the porter let in Susan Grindstone and Neil, Anthony and Pop Pan." And then two more servants come in. "Ah, boy, ready. You are looked for and called for, asked for and sought for in the great chamber. We cannot be here and there too. Cheerily, boys. Be brisk a while, and the longer liver takes all." And then they retire. So it's like, hey, the party's starting. And also the groundlings probably are servants. And they'd be like, "That's me." And so they'd like that. All right, page 39. Enter Capulet, Lady Capulet, Juliet Tibble, and his page, which is kind of just like his personal assistant, kind of nurse, and all the guests and gentlemen to the maskers. So this big party would be taking place. Mr. Capulet is the host, so he steps up and he says, "Welcome, gentlemen. Ladies that have their toes unplagued with corns will walk about with you. Ah, my mistress, which of you all will now deny to dance?" So he makes this joke, like, if you don't have corns on your feet, which are like those kind of bumps that people usually try to hide, then like, so if you don't dance, ladies, we're gonna assume that you have corns on your feet. Oh, talking to you, Karen, you dance. She that makes dainty, she, I'll swear, hath corns. It might come near ye now. Welcome, gentlemen. I have seen the day that I have worn a visor, and could tell a whispering tale in a fair lady's ear, such as would please. 'Tis gone, 'tis gone, 'tis gone. You are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play." And then like music would start. A hall, give room and foot it, girls. And then the dancing starts. "More light, you knaves, and turn the tables up, and quench the fire. The room is grown too hot. Ah, sirrah, this unlooked-for sport comes well." Nay, sit, good cousin Capulet, for you and I are past our dancing days, for long is now since last yourself and I were in a mask." He turns to like his cousin, and he's mentioned now several times that he's of the older generation. And, so Shakespeare is emphasizing that for us too, like this older generation and the younger generation. "But lady, 30 years. What, man? 'Tis not so much, 'tis not so much. 'Tis since the nuptial of Lucentio. Come, Pentecost as quickly as it will, some 25 years. And then we mask. 'Tis more, 'tis more. His son is elder, sir. His son is 30. Will you tell me that? His son was but a ward 2 years ago." So they're remembering this other party that they had, which was way longer ago than they imagined. So like, ooh, we old. Romeo, meanwhile, would be probably like standing at the punch bowl, like eating chips, his like sad chip eating. And he would have seen Juliet like across the way. And from the moment he sees her, it's like, that like those Instagram filters where it's like butterflies and like it's all hazy and like, ugh. That's what he feels when he sees Juliet. He just like stops. Now, if you're thinking, why would they not have seen each other before? They both live in Verona. Yeah, that's a good question. First, we have to give Shakespeare a little leadway, but also Juliet would be really all she's allowed to do is like stay in her house and go to church. So, I mean, maybe they haven't seen each other. Maybe they had like not really, talked, or he didn't recognize her. We don't know. They don't even really talk about that. I guess it's not like there's social media where you would know, especially your your family's rival family, what their children look like. But okay, we'll give you this one, Shakespeare. So Romeo like whispers to a servant, What lady's that which doth enrich the hand of yonder knight? I know not, sir. And okay, now he says this to himself. Oh, she doth teach the torches to burn bright. It seems she hangs upon the cheek of night as a rich jewel in an Ethiop's ear, beauty too rich for use, for earth too dear. So shows a snowy dove trooping with crows, as yonder lady over her fellows shows. The measure done, I'll watch her place of stand, and touching hers make blessed my rude hand. Did my heart love till now? Forswear its sight, for I never saw true beauty till this night. So he is like, whoa, totally gaga over her. He compares her to teaching the torches to burn. That's how vital and bright and illuminating her beauty is in her. He compares her to a rich jewel in an Ethiopian's ear. So like this lovely gem that's exotic, and he's never seen something like this before. He makes all the other girls, she makes all the other girls look like crows, as she's this beautiful dove. And then he says that if he touched her hand, his hand would be blessed. And this starts he really uses often, and we'll see this, using language of religion when talking about how he feels towards Juliet and love. Okay, so we'll talk more about that. Now, Tybalt hears Romeo's voice, and he says to himself, this by his voice should be a Montague. Fetch me my rapier, boy. So he asks his personal assistant to go get his sword. What dares the slave come hither covered with an antic face to fleer and scorn at our solemnity? Now by the stock and honor of my kin, to strike him dead I hold it not a sin. Tybalt is 0 to, 13 on a scale of 1 to 10 of being like, ooh, is that Romeo? How dare he come to this party to mock us? I will kill him. It's like, Tybalt, calm down. Now, Mr. Capulet, his uncle, says, why, how now, kinsman, wherefore storm you so? Uncle, this is a Montague, our foe, a villain that is hither come in spite to scorn at our solemnity this night. Young Romeo, is it? 'Tis he, that villain Romeo. Content thee, gentle coz, let him alone. I'll bears him like a portly gentleman. And to say truth, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all this town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient, take no note of him. It is my will, the which if thou respect, show a fair presence, and put off these frowns, in ill-beseeming semblance for a feast. So Capulet's saying, hey, I hear he's a nice kid. Just calm down, Tybalt. Let him be. I don't want my party to be ruined, and he's not really doing anything. He's just sitting there by the chips. Tybalt says, it fits when such a villain is a guest. I'll not endure him. Now, really, Romeo has done nothing at this point to Tybalt except being a Montague and crashing the party. I mean, is that worthy of jumping to, I shall kill him? No, Tybalt, it's not. He shall be endured. What, goodman boy? I say he shall go too, and I am the master here, or you go too. You'll not endure him? God shall mend my soul. You'll have a mutiny among my guests. You will set a cock-a-hoop. You'll be the man. Why, and so here, when Mr. Capulet, when Tybalt still challenges him, Mr. Capulet shifts to oh, excuse me, you'll not endure him. This is my house, my party, and you will. And so we see this a different side of Mr. Capulet, where if people are listening to him and his word is being taken for what it is, he's fine. But if he's challenged, he's like, what? And he is the man of the household and used to being listened to. Why, uncle, 'tis a shame. Go to, you are a saucy boy. Isn't so indeed. This trick may change to scathe you, I know what. You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Well said, my heart. And then you see all these dashes. Mr. Capulet is still scolding Tybalt, but he's also interacting with like other guests and servants. You are a princox, go. Be quiet, or more light. For shame, I'll make you quiet. What? Surely, my heart's patient perforce with willful choler meeting makes my flesh tremble in their different greeting. I will withdraw, but this intrusion shall, now seeming sweet, convert to bitterest gall. He's like, all right, I won't fight now, but ooh, I'll remember this. Okay. We'll keep going a little bit more. So Romeo and Juliet, they find each other and they have their first conversation. Romeo and Juliet. And like probably in most versions that are portrayed in like a movie or a play, they're somewhere where other people aren't around. So you can't see them really talking. If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this, my lips, 2 blushing pilgrims ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss. Good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, which manly devotion shows in this. For saints have hands that pilgrim hands do touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss. Have not saint lips and holy palmers too? Ah, pilgrim lips that they must use in prayer. Oh, then, dear saint, let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair. Saints do not move, though grant for prayer's sake. Then move not while my prayer's effect I take. Thus from my lips, by thine, my sin is purged. And they smooch. Then have my lips the sin that they have took? Sin from my lips, O trespass, sweetly urged, give me my sin again. Kissing her again. You kiss by the book. And then the nurse pops in. Your mother craves a word with you. What is her mother? Mary, bachelor. Her mother is the lady of the house, and a good lady, and a wise and virtuous. I nursed her daughter that you talked withal. I tell you, he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks. So the nurse is kind of like proud, like, oh, whoever's going to marry her better be very wealthy and, eligible. Is she a Capulet? Oh, dear account, my life is my foe's debt. We're going to go over these 2 pages more tomorrow. So I'm going to read through the lines, and then we're going to take a look at their first exchange and the language that they use. So that's why I'm not going so far into it today. But that might be like in a doc. Okay. Away, begone, the sport is at the best. So I fear the more is my unrest. Nay, gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet towards. And then probably Mrs. Capulet whispers in his ear, like, I'm tired. I want everyone to go home. Is it even so? Why then I thank you all. I thank you, honest gentlemen, good night. More torches there. Come on, then let's to bed. Sirrah, by my faith, it waxes late. I'll to my rest. And all exit but Juliet and the nurse. Come hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman, the son and heir of old Triberio? What's he that now is going out the door? Mary, that I think be young Petruchio. What's he that follows there that would not dance? I know not. Go ask his name. So she's trying to play it cool by like, oh yeah, who's that? Who's that? And then she gets to Romeo like, oh yeah, I don't care about him all, but can you find out who that is? And of course, she just wants to know about Romeo. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed. His name is Romeo, and a Montague, the only son of your great enemy. Oh, my only love sprung from my only hate, too early seen unknown and known too late. Prodigious birth of love it is to me that I must love a loathed enemy. What 'tis, a rhyme I learnt even now of one I danced withal. Juliet, anon, come, let's away. The strangers all are gone. And that brings Act 1 to a close. So we'll talk more about those last 2 pages and their conversation, that first one that they had. But hopefully this is helpful, and hopefully you guys are doing well. Get outside, get a little fresh air. still do social distancing, but make sure that you take care of yourselves and give yourself a break here and there. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.